This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
It's something that we all have, we all deal with it, and we don't normally realize how it's impacting us mentally and also physically. I am talking about stress. And you hear those things, stress kills. Yes, it does. It changes your health. You might not even know what it's doing to you. Neither did I until I wound up in the hospital for it. Not even kidding. A number of years ago, and almost went again a year and a half ago. How do we deal with stress? What are some of the ways that we can take care of that? And we're going to learn that from somebody that helps people, I don't want to say overcome stress, but mitigate it in their lives. Sue Love joins us on the program today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back.
Stress is real, isn't it?
Yep, sure is.
Do you believe that many of us don't even realize the magnitude of the stress that we're dealing with?
Absolutely. Yeah, we cut ourselves off from it, so we don't even know what's going on in our own body. We're just surviving.
Good one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're all creatures of habit, so I have to believe that we just get used to it. This becomes a way of life. This is just what we do. And then it gets to a point where the proverbial straw breaks the camel's back. You just pile another straw on, and that's stress, another stressful. I'm going to deal with it. To the point where you're at a breaking point. And then you have some serious issues at this point. What do people tell you about stress? How does it show up for you when you work with people?
It shows up in a lot of ways. I mean, mostly, physical, mental. It gives you foggy brain. It's hard to be clear and be really present in what you're doing because it takes you out of your body. So you've basically cut off because you got to numb it out. You can't feel all that stress, or you can't get through your day, but it's still affecting you, and it's making it hard to make decisions. It's weighing you down. It's making you feel not very good, very unhealthy. And that affects everything that you do, everything. And affects your energy. You want to manifest really good things into your life. Well, you can't do that because we know energy attracts like energy, right? So if you're in a completely stressed out state, you're not going to be attracting financial abundance and happiness and joy and love and good healthy things into your life until you get rid of that stress and learn how to manage it and bring your vibration to a place where you can attract those things into your life.
I can relate to this, and it's not about me, but I'm going to share in 25 seconds. Something was bothering me digestion-wise. I don't know what it was. But I do know that I was working 3 jobs, getting up extremely early, having kids, renovated a backyard after just buying a house. All of that stuff turned out to be an ulcer. Didn't even know what it was. Sent me to the hospital because I was so stressed out. I didn't know what even, now you're worrying even more. Now you're making it even worse. My blood pressure was so high, it felt like my eyes were going to pop out of my head. And I don't have high blood pressure. It's normal. And then a year and a half ago, same thing. Stressful situations. Finally left that behind. But that was changing my mindset, not worrying about stuff, just saying, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. It wasn't easy, though. It was a process. Took a lot of time. Wish I met you. That's my encapsulated story. But yeah, it can really impact your life without you even knowing it. It's almost like you're swimming in the ocean and all of a sudden you went under. Then you try to come up again, then you go under again. You don't want to stay under, is where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I actually have a chart. This is something that I learned in stress management class many years ago. But it's a stress chart, and there's a line down the middle. In the middle, and that's normal, healthy stress, right in the middle, normal, healthy stress. This is where your power's at. This is enough stress to get you up from sleeping, to get you up, to get you going, to get you feeding your kids and getting off to work. But this is where you want to stay through the day. This is healthy. This is powerful because it's calm. It's not out of control. You're present. You're present with yourself. You're present with your body. You're present with your day. Now, when we start getting up here, you got a deadline that comes along. You got to sit in traffic. Something happens to your kids. This brings us up into this realm. This is where we don't ever want to be hanging out. This is trauma. This is high stress. And this is where most of us in this society live, spinning up here in this trauma response, fight or flight mode all the time. That's horrible on your body. This is horrible because you can't come down. In this society, we're so cut off from the innate intelligence of our bodies. We don't allow ourselves to express our emotions. This is where we live. This is where I lived for almost half a century. I lived up here. And trust me, it destroys your body and it destroys your life. You can't have what you want when you're up here. So healthy is here. This is your power. When you start getting up to this place, when you learn somatic breath work, that's a time to take a break, go for a walk, go sit in your car and breathe and bring yourself back down into this healthy stress right here where you can actually function. And what we need to do though to come back here is we got to come down below the line into sleep and relaxation and rejuvenation in order to come up here. So it's not just about coming back down to this level, it's about going all the way down to come back up. And we can do that pretty quickly with somatic breath work. But what happens is we're always up here. So how do we come down from here if we don't have control over our nervous system? Well, we got to drink alcohol, we got to take drugs, and then we crash, which is not a good, healthy rest. And then when we wake up, guess what? We're not here. We're here. We're always here. We're yelling at our kids. We're irritated with everything. The breathing of our partner even irritates us. It's a bad place to be. So somatic breath work puts you in the driver's seat. Up here, you have no choices. You're just reactive. It's just fueling the trauma, right? You want to be the boss of your own nervous system. And that's what somatic breath work helps you to learn, is how to control your breath so that you can be here. So one of the things that causes a lot of stress is holding on to a lot of emotional trauma from the past, right? We don't express it and it stays in our body and it builds up and our body has to work overtime to hold it in. And it makes us sick, right? It causes depression. It causes all kinds of things to happen, right? So somatic breathwork helps you to release all that stuck emotion, and it puts you in the driver's seat so that you are here where you have choice. You now have choice over how you want your day to go. You have choice about what you want to manifest into your life, what you want to create in your life, right? So somatic breathwork puts you in the driver's seat, makes you the boss of not only your nervous system, but consequently of your life. That's it in a nutshell.
I'm not going to say this because we're here together. You are so good at what you do.
Oh, thanks.
I mean it. And everything you said, I learned through, call it trial and error. That's the best way you can describe it. Is going through it. And the breathing, you are a somatic breathwork practitioner. This is what you do. You also do massage therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't realize how important breathing is. I want to go to that in a second, but I want to go back to your illustration, the diagram. From the heightened levels of stress down to the normal level, I want to reiterate something you said, that you have to go below the normal level and come back up. Why is that?
Well, when you think about it, you're up here, you're spinning. You're not going to just come down and all of a sudden be okay, right? You have to come down and rejuvenate. You have to quiet the storm. You have to breathe away all the stuff that you're going through. And in that breath is also mental work. It's also telling yourself, I'm okay, I'm safe, everything's going to be fine, I've got this. Well, so the breath and your words are bringing you back into a rejuvenated state so you can come back up to that healthy rate. You can't go from, unhealthy to healthy like that, right? You need something to help you get there, to get rid of all of that stuff that's piled up inside of you.
And that's the other part of it too. We don't realize that it's the emotions that are within us. Would you say making it more challenging to mitigate the stress?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes you really unhealthy emotionally and mentally. It affects everything. I know because I lived it for many, 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 many years.
So let's
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Not asking you to go deep unless you want to, but um, did you know you were stressed out at the time? Did you know what it was doing to your body? Um, and how did you eventually overcome it?
When I was in it, because I was born in it, my mom was so stressed out. So I can only imagine the environment that I, grew in her womb, and then I was born into a very stressful situation, and I was born into a religious cult. So, I received a lot of, I wasn't allowed, I was silenced basically when I was born. My mom was one of those parents that, hand over the mouth. Don't say anything, don't move, don't do anything that I don't want you to do, don't bother me. Right? So I was silent, I was invisible. And the cult, I wasn't allowed to think for myself. I wasn't allowed to know who I am or doubt or question anything or learn anything other than what they told me I could learn. I had to believe, I had to obey, and that was it. Right? So that with all of the abuse and trauma, I just shut down. And all I knew was that I was frustrated because I had nowhere to go with all of that. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand all the things I know now. But and I think that's the way it is for a lot of us. We just know we don't feel good and we're not happy, and then when you start checking in, you start noticing, yeah, your stomach is killing you. My stomach is destroyed because of all those years, right?
Yeah, I get
You
you.
know? And so, I mean, as I began to become aware of a lot of things. And I saw how much the abuse was affecting my children because I married an abusive person. Um, yeah, it took me 18 years with him to really get up the courage to leave without any support from anyone. And that kind of started my healing journey. I, of course, got into a very unhealthy relationship after that again um, because I didn't know any better.
So
But then,
let's jump into that for a moment to
okay,
understand. Now they say that we go from one relationship that may not support us the best to the next one that may not support us the best because we're trying to heal or trying to find comfort. What's comfort? It could be horrible. It could be your childhood, but that's comfortable. So you go back to it. Do you think
yeah,
that maybe that could have been why you were going from one to another?
yeah. Well, it's familiar.
It's
I mean,
familiar.
literally, it's all you know. I had no examples of healthy behavior, healthy relationships. I didn't have any of that. We weren't even allowed to go to therapists for help or anything. I had nothing to go on. So yeah, I just wanted to get out of the house. And and of course I attracted someone who was very much like the abusers in my life. That's all I knew. And you hope for better, but you just don't know that you're attracting what you are emitting, an energy that is attracting another energy that fits that. And that was what was in alignment with who I was when I was 22 years old, you know and it's not until some epiphany hits you, or some I literally felt like somebody. What happened was I was watching a daytime TV show like Oprah or one of those kind of shows, and they were talking about women who stay in abusive relationships even when they have kids, and I found myself like judging them in my head. And then suddenly I literally felt like somebody reached out, took a veil off my eyes, smacked me across the face, and put a mirror in front of me. And I was like, oh my God, that's me. And that was the moment that I decided to change my life.
What,
And
I want to just make sure I heard that clear. Was that you were watching a TV show and that's where it came clear?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Could happen anytime. You could be walking down the street
Yep,
and somebody
yep.
says something and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, I ended up walking away from the relationship and the religion and changing my life. And then as I opened myself to healing, more and more things came in, and I availed myself to different opportunities to learn things. And eventually it led me here.
Mm. So you said, and thank you for sharing all of that. And you did share previously when we've gotten together about the cult when you were younger that you were involved with, connected to, and how that impacted your life. You mentioned that your mom was a ball of stress. What's the difference between stress and anxiety?
Hmm. Stress causes anxiety. So stress is the energy, right? You're flying high, your adrenaline is pumping, you're in fight or flight mode. Anxiety is worry. All that stress, you're worrying about money, you're worrying about your kids, you're worrying about things. That's the anxiety, right? And I feel that anxiety in my stomach. Even when I talk about it, I feel that feeling in my stomach. That's very familiar to me, you know? So yeah, it's all tied together for sure.
Because my mom had, I believe, a lot of anxiety. And I don't want to say that I had anxiety, but I would worry about things that I didn't really need to worry about.
Yeah.
Um, and that also comes from, and this is back in the day, having confidence in yourself, resilience, knowing that something pops up, you're going to be able to handle it. But if you don't think you can, what happens? You have stress. You worry about stuff. Um, Looking back, do you say to yourself, why did I ever worry about that stuff? Why did I let that?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
still, we're never done, healing and growing. Still, I mean, I'm like, I've done all this work and still I'm anxious about this. Stop it. Let's do our breathing. Yeah. It's,
mm,
it comes up. But see, that's the power of somatic breath work is it gives you the tools to be able to keep yourself healthy when you feel that coming up. It makes you connected with yourself so that you know and you can sense and what's happening in your body and you can identify it. Oh, I'm feeling anxious right now. Okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'm going to breathe and tell myself a different story. And sometimes just saying, maybe I can change my story on this
mm.
is like the catalyst that changes your life. I just experienced that with a friend who was having in a situation and with her partner, and it had been very stressful for many years with them, and it was a lot. A lot of it was her. She was like, yeah, I know, I have this issue, and then one day she was like, maybe I can just change my story. What if? She said, what if I changed my story? And everything changed in her relationship from that, just that one thought. So our mind is powerful. We have
Mm.
the ability to be in charge of how we feel, how we respond, how we show up in our life.
Um, Reframing all of this for you now, when a stressful situation presents itself, do you still get stressed out for the moment, but you're over it in a very short period of time? Where
Yeah,
in the past, it used to be ongoing, like could be
yeah,
hours, days, weeks, like,
yeah,
I'm thinking about that. Now it's like, what? Oh, well, I got to deal with that. No problem.
yeah.
All right, got that. And you move on.
And that's another thing is that it's kind of an addiction. We get addicted to the trauma. So when we go through something, we relive it over and over and over and over because we're not releasing it, we're not handling it, we're not allowing our body to do it. Its thing that its innate intelligence is to release it. through the trauma response, but we shut that down. So we're just in it, and we keep re-traumatizing ourselves by reliving it and talking about it and going on. I mean, I know people who have been talking about this one thing that happened, over 80 years ago, and they're still talking about it, right? So, yeah, now, I feel it coming and I can control it. I know, no, I don't need to be stressed about this. I don't need to be stressed about this because it's all going to work out. And I just tell myself I'm safe, because it'll trigger something from the past. And your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's happening now and what's happening to them. All they know is you're feeling the same thing. So it's going to protect you by clicking into your fight or flight, right? But you have charge over it. You're in charge. So you get to talk yourself off the ledge, calm yourself with your breathing, and then you can release it and go on with your life. Oh my God, what a much better life I live today.
And that's not to say that you don't get stressed out, but the difference is that I would imagine it's like we say, it's short-lived. Of course you're going to feel it. Like, we have every day you have those moments like, oh my gosh, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
But it goes away quick. And I would imagine maybe it goes back to living in the moment where, you're not thinking about the past. Your subconscious is going to do that anyway for you, or thinking about the future. Just live it now. Take care of it now. I'm not going to worry about it. Doesn't mean you're not responsible, but isn't it funny that we're talking about the same stuff, different journeys, but it took us blanking years to figure this out, where now you're armed with those tools. You can help somebody in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and the beauty of a session, a somatic breathwork session, is that the first half is heavy breathing. It ignites turns on your sympathetic nervous system so that it will trigger things to come up so you can release them. The second half is called repatterning. You're literally repatterning your brain. You're filling the space that you cleared out with positive things, and you're repatterning your brain. So you're telling yourself a different story throughout the second half of how do I want to really feel? Who am I? Underneath it all, who really am I? And what is it I really want to experience in my life? How do I want to show up? How do I want people to feel around me? How do I want to feel when I go to work? Or how do I want to feel within my relationships? So yeah, it helps you to get grounded and repatterned and set in a different mode. And the more that you do it, the more your brain changes the way it thinks and deals with life. And like I said, it puts you in a place of choice.
That's the secret. That's the secret sauce, people. Once you keep doing it, your brain realizes, oh, we got that. Oh, we got that. Oh, we got that. Yeah. And then, like we said, minimizes the time. And I learned this phrase a number of years ago. And in challenging times, I say it to myself, I am not my emotions. I am not my thoughts. I'm safe in this moment. And that's what you want to be, safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How do we, Sue, thank you for all of this. Fabulous. Again, I wish I knew you. Wish I knew you then. When I'm laying in the hospital bed, my blood pressure, 300 over 400 with stress. Wish I knew. But that's why we're here. How do we find you? Best way to connect?
Right now, my website is down, so the best way to connect with me is on my email. Email me at sbwsue62@gmail.com, or you can text me at 408-582-4858. And I say text because my phone doesn't ring if it doesn't recognize you, so just text me and then we can chat.
Thank you for that. Thank you for today. And just the realization of what stress is and what it can do, but what we can do with it. And I really appreciate it. Looking forward next time we get together.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.